What if I told you, this flatness you're feeling isn't depression? Pause for a second, really sit with that. What if the numbness, the complete loss of interest in everything that once lit you up, isn't you falling apart? What if, instead of breaking down, you're actually breaking through? What if this, right here, is the most important shift of your entire life? I know, that sounds hard to believe, because everything about what you're feeling feels wrong. You've been searching for answers, late nights, scrolling, reading symptoms, trying to find a label that explains it. You've been wondering, do I need help? Is something wrong with me? Is this just who I am now? Someone who feels nothing. Someone who can't get excited anymore. Someone who used to feel deeply, but now just watches. Like life is happening on the other side of glass. Like you're present, but not really in it. And that scares you, because it doesn't feel temporary. It feels like you've lost something, and you don't know how to get it back. But here's what almost nobody tells you. This numbness, it's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new one. And if you can understand what's really happening here, if you can stop resisting it, stop trying to fix it, stop trying to escape it, and instead learn to trust it, everything changes. Let me show you something, in a way you'll never unsee. Imagine you're sitting in a car, your hand on the radio dial. You start turning it, slowly. One station fades out, another hasn't come in yet, and suddenly, there's nothing. Just static. No melody, no voice, no clarity, just noise. Now think about this. If you didn't understand how radios worked, if you'd never tuned one before, what would you assume? You'd think it's broken. You'd think something went wrong, but nothing is wrong. You're just between stations. The old signal, gone. The new signal, not fully tuned in yet. And that in-between space, that static, that's exactly where you are right now. You're between frequencies, between identities, between versions of yourself, between a life you've outgrown and one you haven't fully stepped into yet. And the reason it feels so unsettling, so uncomfortable, so empty, is because your mind doesn't know how to exist here. It's used to certainty, used to noise, used to something, anything, to hold on to. But this is unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels like danger. So your instinct is to panic, to fix it, to fill it, to escape it. But listen carefully. You're not losing yourself. You're unlearning a version of yourself that was never truly you. For years, maybe your entire life, you were tuned into a frequency that didn't belong to you. You learned how to think based on what others expected. You learned what to want based on what looked successful. You learned how to behave based on what got approval. And slowly, without realizing it, you built an identity around that, a version of you that functioned, a version of you that fit in, a version of you that survived, but not necessarily a version of you that was real. And because everyone around you was on the same frequency, it felt normal, it felt right. So you stayed, you adapted, you adjusted, you performed, you told yourself, this is just how life works. This is what happiness looks like. This is enough. Even when something inside you whispered, it isn't. That quiet discomfort you ignored, that subtle misalignment, that feeling you couldn't explain, that was your truth, trying to get your attention. And eventually, it did. Because your system can only pretend for so long. At some point, something has to shift. And when it does, it doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait until you're ready. It simply starts turning the dial. That's what's happening now. Not chaos, not failure, not breakdown, but realignment. You are in the space between who you were and who you're becoming. And yes, it feels like emptiness. It feels like something ended, like something died. And in a way, something did. But it wasn't you. It was the version of you built on borrowed expectations, borrowed dreams, borrowed definitions of what your life should be. That version is dissolving. And what's left? Silence. And silence feels terrifying when you're used to noise. Here's the truth you need to hold on to. You cannot go back. Even if you try, even if you want to, even if part of you misses the old version, you can't, because you're no longer tuned to that frequency. That signal is gone. So when you try to force yourself to feel the same way, to care about the same things, to chase the same goals, it doesn't work. And that frustrates you, confuses you, makes you question yourself. But the problem isn't you. The problem is you're trying to hear music from a station that no longer exists for you. So stop trying to go back. Stop forcing excitement. Stop chasing motivation that doesn't feel real. Stop trying to revive a version of yourself that has already ended. Instead, do something that feels completely unnatural. Do nothing. Let the silence be there. Let the emptiness exist. Let the static play out. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's necessary. Because this isn't emptiness. This is space being created. Space for something real, something aligned, something that doesn't need to be forced. And this is where most people lose themselves. They panic in the silence. They interpret it as failure, as weakness, as something that needs to be fixed immediately. So they reach for anything, distraction, validation, noise, anything to avoid feeling nothing. But every time you do that, you interrupt the process, you delay the shift, you stay stuck between stations longer than you need to be. Because finding your frequency isn't about searching harder, it's about becoming still enough to receive it. So ask yourself honestly, what am I trying to force right now? What am I afraid to let go of? What part of my life no longer feels true, but I'm holding on to anyway? Because every time you cling to the past, you resist the future. And beneath all of this, something deeper is happening. Your nervous system, after years of pressure, performance, expectation, is exhausted. So it's doing the only thing it knows how to do to protect you. It's shutting everything down, not permanently, just enough to reset, to recalibrate, to clear out what doesn't belong. And during this phase, you're not supposed to feel everything. You're supposed to feel nothing, stillness, quiet, neutral. Not because you're broken, but because your system is preventing you from attaching to the wrong things again. So if this resonates, don't rush past it. Pause, breathe, and just admit, I am between stations. No story, no judgment, no fear, just awareness. Because the moment you name it, you take away its power. And here's the deeper truth. You are closer to your real life than you've ever been. Even if it feels like you're drifting, even if it feels like you've lost direction, even if it feels like nothing makes sense anymore, you are closer. Closer to clarity, closer to alignment, closer to a life that actually feels like yours. Not loud, not chaotic, not forced, but steady, grounded, real. The alive you miss? Look closer. It wasn't fully yours. It felt real. It felt intense. It felt like something you didn't want to lose. But it wasn't alignment. It was stimulation. It was movement without direction, energy without grounding, a fire that burned bright, but never burned steady. It gave you moments, highs that felt electric, but never gave you a sense of home. And that's why it faded. Not because you failed to hold on to it, but because it was never meant to stay. What you're grieving right now is not your true self. It's the version of you that felt something, even if that something wasn't fully true. And losing that feels like losing life itself. But here's the shift. What's coming next is not louder. It's deeper, not more intense, but more real. Not something that explodes into your life, but something that settles into you. It won't overwhelm you. It will anchor you. It won't demand your attention. It will earn your presence. It won't burn fast and disappear. It will stay, quietly, consistently, unshakably. And that's why this phase feels so unfamiliar. Because you've been conditioned to associate alive with intensity, with constant stimulation, with emotional highs and dramatic shifts. So when that disappears, your mind assumes something is wrong, but nothing is wrong. Something is changing. Something is being stripped back to make room for something that doesn't need to prove itself. So stop searching, because what you're looking for is not something you find, it's something you allow. Stop forcing, because what's meant for you doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to space. Stop panicking, because this is not collapse. This is construction. Something within you is being rebuilt, layer by layer, signal by signal, truth by truth, in ways you can't yet see, but will one day recognize instantly. Right now, it feels like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, everything is shifting. Old patterns are dissolving, old identities are loosening, old attachments are quietly releasing their grip, and what's left? Space, stillness, silence. And yes, that silence can feel heavy. It can feel like absence, like something is missing, but it's not empty. It's sacred, because in that silence, there is no interference, no borrowed voices, no external noise, no expectations pulling you in different directions. Just you, raw, unfiltered, unmasked. And from that space, something new begins to emerge. Not loudly, not all at once, but slowly, naturally, inevitably. The static you're hearing, it's not your identity. It's not who you are. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. It's your transition, your bridge, your in-between. And one day, when you least expect it, you'll feel it. Not as a dramatic breakthrough, not as a sudden explosion of clarity, but as a quiet shift. A moment where something just clicks, where you don't have to question anymore, where things feel simple, clear, right. A sense of knowing without needing proof, a sense of clarity without overthinking, a sense of, this is me, not the version you created to survive, not the version you shaped to fit in, but the version that exists without effort. And when that moment comes, you won't need to chase it. You won't need to hold on to it. You won't need to convince yourself it's real, because it will feel undeniable. And then you'll look back at this phase, like this numbness, this stillness, this silence that once felt so uncomfortable, and you'll see it differently. You'll realize it wasn't emptiness. It was preparation. It wasn't disconnection. It was protection. It wasn't the end of you. It was the return of you, the version of you that was always there, beneath the noise, beneath the expectations, beneath the borrowed identities. So for now, don't rush. Don't force meaning where there isn't any yet. Don't demand clarity before it's ready to arrive. Just breathe, slowly, gently. Let yourself exist without needing to fix anything. Let yourself be here without needing to escape. Stop fighting what you don't understand yet, because not everything needs to be understood immediately. Some things need to be felt through. Trust what you can't see yet, because just because it's invisible doesn't mean it isn't real. Let the dial keep turning, even when it feels like nothing is changing, even when the static lingers longer than you expected, because something is happening, even now, especially now. And the music, it's not gone. It never left. It's just waiting for the noise to clear, for the space to open, for you to soften, for you to become still enough, quiet enough, present enough to finally hear it. And when you do, you won't just hear it, you'll recognize it, because it will sound like something you've been searching for your whole life, without even knowing what it was. And in that moment, you won't feel lost anymore. You won't feel numb anymore. You won't feel disconnected anymore. You'll feel home within yourself. And that's when you'll understand this wasn't something to escape. This was something to become.